Hi, it's Carol from Sew-ciety, and I want to give you the rundown on the very first block for our new Saturday sampler. Actually, month one has two blocks, but we'll be starting with the Crosstown Block. So, I'd like you to take out your sheet, and it has the Americana and the mixed thatch on yours, so you'll know exactly which fabrics go with what. And what we're going to do is start by taking, this is page 10 by the way, I'm going to take and do a light, and I'm going to sew a dark on both sides of the light. And I have one side done already for you, but I'm going to put the second side on. And instead of pinning, my glue stick is always handy because I'm doing my Judy Niemeyer paper piecing. So I found out that it actually works pretty good for regular piecing, and I don't have to worry about taking the pins out. So I have sewed one side. I'm adding on the second side now. And you will want to be working on your 1/4 inch. Of course, I have my 1/4 inch foot on, but if you don't, figure out a way that you can consistently maintain your 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and sew down here on this. Just double check I'm still stuck the way I want to be. I am. And to me, that glue stick's actually a lot easier. Then I'll have to worry about you guys sewing over pins and that sort of thing. So I get to the end, I'm going to cut. I'm going to put my fabric right here. I have my wool pressing mat out, which I like a lot. It helps kind of get the seams nice. And since I have my dark in the middle, I'm going to press towards the dark. And as you're looking at the instructions in here, you're going to notice there's a lot of tips on which way to press the different parts of the block, from the beginning right here and then all the way into the other assembly when we're putting them all together. So I have that. So my next step will be to cut these guys into 4.5 inch squares. So I happen to have my 4.5 inch ruler from QS right in hand on my little small mat by my machine. I'm going to cut one, and then I'm going to have to go ahead and cut the second one. And again, check your measurements and stick with those. All right, so now I have my 2 pieces of this at 4.5 inches. All right, my next step is to take a piece of my background and then add on a strip of light to the back of each one of those, which you can see I've already sewed those, so the video doesn't take too long. So what's going to happen then is I'm going to put that and that together, and then I'm going to repeat that 2 more times down here. Okay, then after I sew that together, I'm going to take my remaining strip of dark and place that down the middle of those 2 and put those together per the diagram right here. Then I'm going to take my 4.5 inch squares that were from the dark, and I'm going to cut those in half and mark the center of them. I'm going to take one of these then, and I've marked the center here, and you're just going to sew those on to the 4 crosses, 4 points of the cross. And you're going to say, well, that's kind of weird, but when we roll over to the next page then, you're going to turn those guys into your actual block, and the excess over here will end up being trimmed off on each place. And then finally, you'll have some border strips to add on, but you can do that after the fact. This is the stuff you need to make the very first block. Again, that is the Crosstown Block. Thanks, and I'll see you when we go on to the second block.